I got that ultralight. Oh, I'm about to get one. He's chasing it. Oh, come on, get it. That's a solid one out here. All right, so we're gonna be talking about the Soloking Acura HICC50. So this is also known as the Dove Yellow. This is the Soloking. It's got a lot of names online. You can see even here it says Silfast. I have a couple that say Dove Yellow on them. They're all the same reel. Now with that being said, this is probably the best reel for the price, for the budget. It comes in anywhere between $30 to $60 depending on where you buy it, and you get a lot of good for that price. So we got carbon fiber handle, got clicking drag star, we have audible drag, clicky drag. On the Pro model, the spool tensioner does not click, which I actually like that. You can get a finer tune with it. So I've been fishing with this reel for over a year, and I've owned 3 of them, and I'm gonna go over all the pros and cons of this reel. So there's one major flaw with these reels I'm gonna go over at the end, but there is a ton of pros. So let's just start with everything. It casts amazing. You could throw anything from 0.7 of a gram all the way up to 7 grams with no issues. I have thrown lures higher than that, but it really excels at about that 3 to 4 gram rate. It just throws them out there. I've actually been fishing a trout pond with guys throwing the same lures as me, and they couldn't even cast as far as me with spinning rods. So it truly casts amazing. 7-to-1 gear ratio, you're able to crank those fish in pretty quickly. Go! Yeah, that's a chunk. So this comes in at 136 grams. It's a pretty light reel. So I have caught hundreds of fish with these reels. I have used them all over: freshwater, saltwater, rivers, lakes, you name it. I've caught bowfin, bass, redfish, white bass, anything you can think of, crappie. I have used this reel for. It does amazing. Now when you get the reel, it's gonna come in a box like this. You can tell mine's beat up. I've had this for a while now. It also comes with a spare spool. It's a deep spool. So you get a deep and a shallow spool. So my shallow spool is filled up with 10-pound braid, but when you turn them sideways, you can see the difference. So you can see just how small and how thin this one is versus the deep spool. So in my opinion, these reels are slightly underbraked, but that's okay. To me, I prefer underbraked than overbraked. This casts way better than, say, a KastKing Zephyr. Everything about this reel, in my opinion, is better than the KastKing Zephyr for half the price. Oh God, that's a good fish. This is a good fish. Oh yeah. Check that out. A freaking giant. I landed this fish on the KastKing Zephyr. That out. How's that for BFF? Freaking stud on the BFF. It's got a all carbon frame. What I really like about this reel is the way it fits in my hand. I can palm it really nice. So this reel fits in the hand great. So I want to talk about the negative. The one major flaw with this reel, I've had 2 of these reels break the same way. So my number 1 complaint with these reels is the level wind. So right here on the worm gear, the level wind goes back and forth, and that's how it keeps your line on there. Well, there's a little, if you open this up, there's a little pawl that goes into this groove. And over time, these tend to wear out on these reels, and I don't know why. Taking it apart, and when I did, the teeth are just doled out on the pawl. All right, so check it out. When I'm reeling, look at that. This is the second one of these reels I've had happen like this. This is the Dove Yellow HICC50. Second one I've had do this. The first one lasted over a year, so I wasn't very upset about it. You know, $40 reel lasted a year. no problem. This one's only been a couple months, so I'm pretty upset about it. So you can always replace the pawl in that. It's not too hard of a fix, but it is something to keep in mind whenever you buy these reels. I don't know what exact size pawl you'd have to get. That'd be something for one of y'all to tell me, hopefully, so I can fix 2 of these reels. I love these reels, but the level wind, the pawl does wear out on the worm gear. That's the only negative I found in these reels. Everything else is a plus. Now, I always keep my reels greased. I always take good care of my reels, clean them after every use, that kind of thing. So this little piece goes inside there and then it has a cap over it. All right, so I opened it up and took out the level wind pawl, and I'm gonna try and show y'all. I doubt this camera can pick it up, but what has happened is that it's filed one side down to a really sharp point. I know that camera's not gonna pick it up, unfortunately, but this pawl is not supposed to look like that. It's shaved down to a sharp point on one side, and they're supposed to be uniform, and that's why it's hanging up on one side. So I could replace this pawl and it worked well again, but that's the only negative I get out of this, is the level wind eventually goes out on these, and it's always at the pawl. The worm gear always looks good, but the pawl has shaved down twice on me. So just keep that in mind when you buy these, but you definitely get your money's worth.